Yes, students, very good afternoon to one and all. So, today we are having a session on thevinins theorem proof. Okay, so Norton's theorem, I did not find it out. If I find it out, I'll just even do that without fail because that's also important. So, let's now see with respect to the thevinins theorem proof, right? So, here IL is missing. Okay, yeah. So now here, so what you're supposed to do is that you're supposed to work according to the procedure of Thevenin's and Norton's theorem, right? Before that, let's see what is Thevenin's and Norton's theorem. So we've already discussed, but just let us tell what is it, right? No explanations right now. So I've extended it in a clean and a neat manner. So I guess you can see with respect to the video. So I've used my whiteboard itself, normal one. So please do make sure that you follow that without fail, right? So in the case of Thevenin's theorem, if I say, so any linear bilateral network, however complicated it may be, connected to a load impedance, so may be replaced by a single equivalent circuit containing an voltage source and an impedance in series with it. So you should have a voltage source and an impedance, or say a resistance in series with it, and the voltage of the voltage source is equal to the open circuit voltage across the load terminal, and the value of the impedance is equal to the equivalent impedance of the network as viewed from the load terminals into the network. So this is what is the Thevenin's theorem. I have extended you in a clean and a neat manner, so you can just go back and check it out without fail, right? Yeah. So now here, according to this problem, now we are going to do it in two ways, right? The first way is you are going to use a simple methodology to solve the circuit, and whatever the resultant you get in a simple methodology, so the same resultant you have to get it on the case of Thevenin's theorem. That is what we did in what? That is what we did in the last superposition theorem, right? You can just check it out. I've shared the video. So please do make sure that you check it out without fail. So in that particular, what we have done, ನಾವೇನನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು KCL ನ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ KCL, ನೋ ಸೂಪರ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಥಿಯರಮ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್. ಸೂಪರ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಥಿಯರಮ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ನ ಗೋನ್ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ independent sources which is acting alone, and all the other sources are made open or short circuit, that's depending upon the source, that is either your current source or voltage source. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಆದರೆ I'm sorry, ಆದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ KCL ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ನೀವು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ KCL ನೋಡ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಹಾಕಿ ನಾವು ರಿಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಬರ್ಸಿದೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವೇನ್ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, ನೋಡ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ರಿಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸೂಪರ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಥಿಯರಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ರಿಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಎರಡು ಸೇಮ್ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಒಂದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ, ಸೊ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿರೋದೇನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ರೈಟ್ I2 ಮೈನಸ್ what IA ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ R1 R2 ಏನೋ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಅದು ನೀವು ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ, ಆ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫೈ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ V1 ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್, V1 ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ V1 ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗಿರೋವಂಥದ್ದು ಬರೀ VA ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ VB ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋವಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾವು VA ಮೈನಸ್ VB ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ R1 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಿ, ಅಂಡ್ ಅದನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಡೂ ಮೇಕ್ ಶೋರ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ವಾಚ್ ದಟ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಫೇಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ನಾವ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ವಿಷಯಗಳು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಬೆಟರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ಅ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಅ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್, ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾದ್ರೂ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳೋವಂತ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ದಟ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಈ ತರ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಡಿ, ಸೊ ಹೀಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಐ ಗೆಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅನ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ದಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ವೈಲ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್, ಅಂಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಶೋರ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ವೋಂಟ್ ಇವನ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ದಟ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಎನಿಮೋರ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅದು ಮರ್ಕಳ್ಸೋದಕ್ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದೊಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ದಟ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಗೆಸ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅನ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಆನ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ, ಅಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಯು ಅ ಲಾಟ್. ಅಂಡ್ ನಾವು ಇಷ್ಟು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಆಲ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಯು, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೋ ಒಂದು ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ಲೆಕ್ಕ ತಗೋಬಹುದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮುಖ್ಯ, ರೈಟ್? ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಸೇಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ನಮ್ಗೆ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಆಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಅನ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ನಾವು ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಅಂಡ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆಲ್ help me in watching all these videos, and if you all subscribe, and if you all share it to many more, and if you all can communicate with me through the comments, so then I'm very much happier to clear your doubts without fail. Now we know that okay, so we're here, we're always open in the comment box. If you comment to me anything that we're not understanding this, we're not understanding that, or if you find out any mistake, and if you have, you can even what I can say, just text the message in the comment box so we can clear it out, right? So ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತರನು ಓಪನ್ ಇದೀವಿ. So please do make sure that you also use our comment boxes without fail, and please do make sure that you like, share and subscribe, and share it to many more who are in need, and please do press the bell icon to get more and more updates on our channel, right? Yeah. Okay. So now let's come to this thevinins theorem part. So ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ thevinins theorem part ನಲ್ಲಿ, so it's nothing but, here it is. So this is, we wanted to find IL now. So we want to find the load current IL. So how to find out the load current IL? To find out load current IL, it is nothing but IL is equal to, that is this current I into this resistance. You want to take another current which is nothing but I into R2 whole divided by, so this is a current divider rule that we are using. Please to note down that. So this is whole total resistances. What is that? It is R, just a minute, I'm sorry. Yeah. So ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇದನ್ನ ಸದುಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಸದುಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? It all helps you a lot, and please do make sure that you use all this without fail, right? Yeah. Okay. So yes, ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮೇನ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಥಿಯರಮ್ ನ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ರಿಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಥಡಾಲಜೀಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ, ಸೊ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ಗೆ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಥಡಾಲಜೀಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಮೆಥಡಾಲಜಿಯನ್ನ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿದ್ರು ಆ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬರುವಂತಹ ರಿಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಶೋಕೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ರೈಟ್? ವಿ ಶೋಕೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಐ ಬರಬೇಕು. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಐ? ಐ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಐ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ವಿ ಆರ್. So what is your I now? So your I becomes equal to, what is V? Here it is V itself. So now ade V by R. I'm sorry, V by R. I is equal to V by R. I'm so sorry. So V by what? So V by it is what I can say. So that is your R1 plus this R1 plus this R1 plus R3 plus RL R3 plus RL, which is in parallel to R2, right? Yeah. So this is what my R1, idu R1 plus, so this is R1, this is R1 plus, so this R3 plus RL, this R3 plus RL are in series, which is in parallel with my R2. So this is what is my I. And now if I can simplify this, R3 plus RL parallel to R2, so I am going to get it as, that is equal to, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಬಂತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡಿದೆ. See, there is a divide, it has been divided. So that is why we have taken R3 plus RL, which is in parallel to R2. R3 plus RL is in parallel to R2, and this R1 is in series with that particular. So now it is R1 plus, so it is equal to, so that is your R3 plus RL into R2 divided by R3 plus RL plus R2, right? It is, yeah, okay, so just a minute. So here it is that, okay. Now here if you try to simplify this, so how to simplify this, you're going to take a reciprocal, right? If you take a reciprocal, so just a minute, I'm so sorry, yeah. If you take a reciprocal, I'm sorry, yeah, now it's quite fine. So, yeah. So if you take a reciprocal, not reciprocal, if you take a common, I'm sorry, if you take a common, so it is like your R3. Just a minute. Okay, so it is now it's nothing but, so your R1, so R1, so here it is 1 into this whole thing is equal to this particular, you will get it, right? So that is why you are supposed to multiply R1 into, that is R3 plus RL plus R2. Okay, so now here, just a minute, I'm so sorry. Okay, so it is once again, so plus, just a minute, I'll just push this out. Okay. So it is once again plus, so it is R3 into RL plus R2. Right? Yeah. So now it is nothing but, so here it is V. So please don't consider this is not a tick mark, this is V. Right? Yeah. So now here, so now what is supposed to do? You're going to shift this particular to the numerator part. So if you shift this particular to the numerator part, so what's that going to happen is that, so you're going to get the result and say, that's nothing but, just a minute, I'll just keep this like this, so you need it, right? So now it is I is equal to, so what you're going to get, you're going to get it as it is V into, that is R3 plus R2 plus RL. So whole divided by, it is nothing but R1 R3 plus R1 RL plus R1 R2. So I guess you're understanding this. So this R1 gets multiplied to R3 as well as RL as well as R2. Right? Yeah. And once again this R2 gets multiplied to RL as well as what? R3, right? So now if that gets multiplied again, so the resultant will become equal to, it is R2 R3 plus R2 RL, right? Now the next thing what is supposed to do is that, so it is nothing but, now this is what is your I you have got. So now what is supposed to do? You're supposed to substitute this I over, just a minute, give me some time. Okay, yeah. So you're supposed to substitute in place of this particular. So if you substitute in place of this particular, so now I will erase I over here. I guess you got to know what is I, right? See, I. So this is what is my I. So the whole thing I am going to write it there. Where? Over here. So I'll just erase this I. I'll stick an eraser. I'll just erase this I. I'll just directly write it as R2 over here. And I'll just multiply into the I. What is the I? It is nothing but V into R2 plus R3 plus R3 plus R2 plus RL, or R2 plus R3 plus RL, it's anything. Whole divided by, so it is R1 R2 plus R1 R3 plus R1 RL plus what I can say, the R2 R3 and RL R2 or R3 RL, right? It's anything. Just a minute. So now here this particular will get cancelled, isn't it? Yeah. So now you remain with what? So you remain with IL is equal to, it is V into R2 whole divided by this, isn't it? Yeah. So let me write it in a neat manner. So yeah. So ಈಗ ಏನು ಬಂದಿದೆ? IL. So ಈ IL ನಮಗೆ thevinins ಇಂದನೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. Right? We proving that. Okay? And here it is plus R3. Just a minute. Don't get confused that ಇಲ್ಲಿ RL R2 ಇದೆ ಅಥವಾ R2 R3 ಇದೆ. So ಆ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. Here it is not R3 RL. Here it is R2 RL only. Okay. So ಆ ತರ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಹಾಕೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. Anything is fine. Right? RL R2 ಅಥವಾ R2 RL ಎರಡು ಫೈನ್. So ನಿಮಗೆ 2 into 4, 4 into 2 same result ಕೊಡೋದಲ್ವಾ. So that's fine. Right? Yes. Right? So ಈಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? IL ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. What is IL? My IL is the load, what I can say, the current. So we got the load current, and now here you can see that. So now if we want to find the same IL using Thevenin's theorem, correct? ಸೊ ಥೆವೆನಿನ್ಸ್ ಥಿಯರಮ್ ಇಂದ ನಾವು ಸೇಮ್ IL ನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ, and that IL we are going to find out using Thevenin's theorem, and you are going to apply the rules of Thevenin's theorem, right? Now let me come to the diagram. So ಈ diagram ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇವಾಗ you have one load resistance say RL, correct? Just let me take another color. I will use this one. Okay, so here it is RL. This is the load resistance we have, and if you have a load resistance, what is that you're supposed to do in the case of Thevenin's theorem, right? What you have to do in the case of Thevenin's theorem? In the Thevenin's theorem, just a minute, yeah. In the case of Thevenin's theorem, so the procedure for solving, the first one says that the load impedance through which the current is to be found is removed and an open circuit is created across the terminal. That means, so here this is what is the load impedance, that is RL. So here I mentioned this as load impedance, just a minute. Yeah. So this is what is the load impedance RL, wherein you are going to find out the current. So that you are going to remove and the open circuit is created across the terminal, right? So now shall we remove this? Yes. So I'm going to rewrite the new diagram because I don't want to club with this, right? RL anta kottid takshana RL na dayaviಟ್ಟು ಎತ್ತಾಕ್ಬಿಡಿ, leave the RL, right? Now here it is V. Okay, so now here it is R1, now here it is R2, okay. So now here we are trying to, here we are having a resistance say R3, right? And here we are making this as an open circuit. And here we are finding the Thevenin's voltage, that is VTH, and here it is I can say R3, yeah, R3, and this is R2. Okay, so this is R1, right? So now this is what is the Thevenin's equivalent. The first step is over, and the second step says that, so we're going to find the open circuit voltage G naught at C naught or VTH or anything. So now let me find out VTH. So according to that, so my first step was, so how to find out VTH? So after you make the load resistance, after you eliminate the load resistance and make it as an open circuit, so you will get one circuit wherein for that you are going to decide which rule you are going to apply, right? Now, so here voltage drop is present across R3, so that is 0, right? Yeah. So open circuit, what I can say, as it's an open circuit, so there is a drop across R3, so that is tend to be 0, and now we are supposed to find out that is the VC, that is the voltage across the terminal, which is nothing but I into R2, which is Z also is equal to VA, right? How VA? So VA is because it's here, you can even mention it as VA, right? This is the voltage VA present over here, and that VA is equal to I into R2 because there is a current that is flowing over here. Say, just a minute. There's a current that's flowing over here, say I, which is into R2, right? Yeah. So now here you can see that. So I, what is I now? So I is nothing but V by R. So V by R. So what is V by R? So that is V divided by the two resistances. This is R1, this is R2. Okay. So now here, so let us substitute this I to the given this particular over here, right? So if I substitute I here, so what's there going to happen is that, so you get VC or VA, you can also call, which is equal to, that is V divided by R1 plus R2 into V into R2 here. Okay, yeah. So ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋತೀರಾ, ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದು ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಬೇಕು, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸಾರಿ, ಯಾ, ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ತಲೆನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಯು ಶುಡ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ in words. In your mouth it should be, you should know that, and in your mouth you should tell it without fail, because ನೀವು ಬಾಯನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ನ, ರೈಟ್? You should tell the procedure. Say the first procedure is nothing but the load impedance through which the current has been found is removed and an open circuit is created across the terminal. Second point, the open circuit voltage E naught across the terminal is found. So ಇದರೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ he last question say explain the thevinins theorem and Norton's theorem and write the procedure to find out the thevinins and Norton, that is procedure for solving a thevinins and Norton's theorem ಅಂತ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಆವಾಗ ನೀವು ಬರೀಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕಾದ್ರೂ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನೀವು ತಲೆನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ, ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರೆಯೋದನ್ನ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ನಾನು, ರೈಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ that is for solving a network using thevinins and Norton's theorem ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ನೀವೇನ್ ಬರೀತೀರಾ? ಸೊ ನೀವು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ಲೇ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ತಾನೆ, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನು ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಎಸ್, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್, ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್, ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ it is nothing but a V into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. You can just directly write. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಗೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ? ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ಗೆ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ನ ಕೇಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನೀವು ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಓದದೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೂ 4-5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ 4-5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು. ನೀವು ಹೆಂಗೋ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ನ ಬರ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ಸೊ ನೀವು ಅದು ನನಗೆ ಅದು ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೋ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೋ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಥಿಯರಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬರಕ್ಸುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಯಾಕೆ ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀರಾ? ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನು ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಯಾ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್, all the voltage sources are replaced by the short circuit and all the current sources are replaced by its open circuit. It already which is told in superposition theorem, and the equivalent impedance Z0 is looked from these two terminals into the network as found. ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಬೇಕು, RTH. So to find RTH, what I am supposed to do? ಸೊ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ voltage and I'll make it as short circuited as told in the which one? That is the procedure, that is step number 3. So this is SC, this is SC, which is called as short So cute, right? Yeah. Now here, let me make that as a short circuit and rewrite the diagram, right? So ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಏನು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, I'll rewrite the diagram. So now it is like this. Here it is resistance R1. So I'm going to use the same black color for writing. So what's the matter is if I use different colors, you'll get confused. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು black ಬಳಸ್ತೀನಿ. So for highlighting, I'll make sure that I'll use a different color so that you can understand things. Right now, okay. So this is R1. So here is R3. Okay, so now here this is what is the diagram after you, what I can say, after you make your voltage circuit as a short circuit. So here it is RTH. Okay. So now here the next thing what you're supposed to do is that you're going to find out RTH. How will you find out RTH? It's very much easier. So you can see this R1 is in parallel to R2 which is in series with R3, right? This R1, the resistance R1 is in parallel to this R2 which is in series with R3, right? Yeah. So now if I consider that, so I'll just write it as, so my RTH is equal to R1 parallel to R2 plus R3, yeah? Plus R3, yeah? Okay. So now here if I try to simplify this, what is R1 parallel to R2? It is nothing but R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2, right? So it is R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into R3, here plus R3. Now I have to take things into common, right? If I make things into common, so now so it is equal to, so now it is R1 plus R2, we'll take it as common. So which is nothing but your R1 into R2 plus. So plus what? Plus it is nothing but R1 into R3 plus R2 into R3, because you will get R1 plus R2 whole into R3 which will give you R1 R3 divided by R2 and R3, right? Plus R2 into R3. Just a minute. Now here, so this is what is my RTH. So now what I'm supposed to do is that I need to find out IL, the load current. So load current formula now barde illilla alla. So just a minute. So here we only found out what? We only found out the equivalent VTH, right? We only found out the, what I can say, just a minute students. Yeah, we only found out the VA, or which I can say that as VTH also, right? This VA is also tend to be as VTH. So we found out VTH and RTH now, but I did not even write the formula for IL anywhere, right? So my IL formula is equal to, so my IL is equal to, just a minute. IL is equal to, that is VTH divided by RTH plus RL. So that is the resistance VTH whole divided by RTH plus the load resistance RL, right? So now if I substitute all the things over here, that is with respect to VTH, RTH and RL, so what I am going to get? So what I'm going to get? So now I'm going to get it as, it's nothing but, just a minute students, I'm sorry. Yeah. It is nothing but you're supposed to write it as, so that is what you got it as your VTH. Your VTH is nothing but V into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Can we substitute that? Yes. So it is nothing but your, I'll write it in this color itself. V into R2 whole divided by R1 plus R2. It's once again whole divide, I'm sorry, just a minute. Whole divided by this particular means RTH plus RL, right? Yeah. So now let me write that as R1 plus that is R2 R3 R1 plus R2, the R1 plus R2 plus RL, the thing we've written it, right? So now here this and this will get cancelled actually, but we haven't taken common over here. So if you take common over here, ಏನು resultant ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದು ಹೇಳಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. So in the case of common, if you take, you will get R1 plus R2 as common, and R1 plus R2 into 1 is R1 plus R2, and you get the same thing, and this RL gets multiplied to R1 plus R2, wherein you get the resultant as what? So you get the resultant as, that is equal to, that is plus R1 RL plus R2 RL ಬರುತ್ತಾ? Correct? You know how to take common and do things, right? Yeah. So that is I'm writing it here itself. So here this and this will get cancelled. And now what's that going to happen if that and that will get cancelled? You're going to get directly as, that is V into R2 divided by this particular, and now here let me just go check with this first. Okay, so V into R2 divided by R1 R2 plus R1 R3 plus R2 R3 plus R1 RL plus R2 RL, right? And now if I come to over here, it is nothing but, so here V into, just a minute, I'm so sorry for the distraction student. Yeah, here it is. Okay, So I'm so sorry. So I'll just make a highlight because I'll only because I've written many of the things over here, that is why. Just a minute. I'll just highlight it. Yeah. So this is what is my thing which I've got now, right? It is V into RL, V into R2 whole divided by R1 R2 plus R1 R3 plus R1 RL plus R2 R3 plus R2 RL, right? You got the same thing, right? Here, just a minute. I'll just check this out. Just a minute. Okay, yeah. So it is R1 plus R2 that you got over here, and it is nothing but yeah, we got the same thing, right? But the order is different. See, here we got R2, R3, and here we have got R2, RL. The same thing we have got it. Okay, so the order is changed instead. So at the last we have written it as R2, R3 plus R2, RL. But here it is written in the beginning itself. So yeah, everything is correct. So we got the same resultant. So hence proved. Hence proved. Okay. So ನೀವು ಒಂದನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ, ನೀವು KCL ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, KVL ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಡಿವೈಡರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಡಿವೈಡರ್ ರೂಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಒಂದು ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಥೆವೆನಿನ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ನಾರ್ಟನ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಏನಾರು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ, ಬಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ರಿಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಬರುವಂತದ್ದು ಸೇಮೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇದ್ರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವೈಂಡ್ ಅಪ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೆಷನ್ and this is what is for the thevenin's theorem proof. So if I find out Norton's theorem, I'll do it today without fail because ನಾನು ಹುಡುಕ್ತೆ actually correct ಆಗಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. If I get it, I'll just do it because ಅದನ್ನ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ. And please do make sure that you follow all this without fail, and please do like, share and subscribe and share it to many more who are in need, and please do press the bell icon to get more and more updates on our channel, and thank you.